Well, I just want to say, first of all, I am so happy and grateful that you are all here, because I was kind of expecting a low turnout, and here you all are. So this is wonderful. And I'm very grateful. And Jenny is here in absentia.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you all introduced yourselves to each other?
No.
Why don't we begin with that? Let me just kind of say from the beginning, I'm Father Tom, and I've had dealings with all of you in one way or another, and I'm very, very grateful to have you. As you know, this has been kind of an avocation or a passion of mine for the last 6 years, after in 2005 going on a study tour of Turkey and Greece, finding Turkey much better than Greece. This is why we don't go to Greece. If you want to go to Greece, there's lots of other people who will take you. But as far as I'm concerned, Turkey is probably the it's what I fell in love with. So yeah, I think I'm doing okay on that. After that study tour of Turkey and Greece, it came to my mind, maybe the Holy Spirit was flapping her wings over me, I don't know, but it kind of came to my mind that this would be an ideal sort of pilgrimage which combines a study tour idea, learning about our heritage, but at the same time approaching our heritage in a deeply, hopefully, deeply prayerful way. And God bless you. And it is one of the I think key things about a pilgrimage is that a group of people grows to know and to love one another on the pilgrimage also. There is always going to be some degree of hardship. The hardship will, of course, be spending 4 to 6 hours at a time on a nice air-conditioned bus, listening to Aiden and me talking. But let's face it, that part of the hardship is each one of you has had to give up things in order to do this. It's not easy to get away for a full 3 weeks, or almost 4 weeks for those who are staying those extra days. By the way, for those who are staying the extra days, this week I hope to be in touch with you about some suggestions for how we can, how you can best make use of those days, because you know they're not going to be structured with. There's a few structured things that I'm hoping to do, one of which is to go to the Chaldean church for the Sunday Mass, Sunday liturgy. The Chaldeans are actually the refugees from Iraq who have settled in Turkey. So that, I think, should be a very good and interesting experience. They also are one of the branches of Eastern Catholicism that were Orthodox and then came over back into union with Rome. We'll leave those extra 4 days for later. But I think what the idea of the pilgrimage is that we are going also as a prayerful people. And when we have our break, I'm going to get copies of the monthly Give Us This Day. Many of you might be familiar with the Magnificat, okay, as kind of a monthly, daily guide to the liturgy, but also morning and evening prayer. Well, the Liturgical Press has recently published a similar thing monthly with morning and evening prayer every day and the Mass text for every day. And I was able to get a large number of free copies for our pilgrimage to be able to take along. So we will all have our own prayer guide also for the days of the pilgrimage. And we won't have to worry about improvising or, neglecting or all of that kind of stuff, because if you don't have it fairly well prepared, it tends to slip by the wayside. So we want to punctuate our time with prayer. Another important element of the pilgrimage is that Aiden himself is such a good and devout Muslim and is very inviting in sharing his faith and prayer with us. So he will at one point just describe all the things that Muslims do when they pray. Because, as you know, you've seen pictures of it, the prayer rug facing towards Mecca, the kneeling, the prostration, the standing, the kneeling and bowing, and all of those things. Well, there are, texts from the Quran and prayers that accompany those, which serve sort of like our Liturgy of the Hours to punctuate the day for Muslims. And we will be talking more about that next time on Palm Sunday when we meet. We'll have we'll be concentrating really on learning more about Islam from the perspective of what do we as Catholics need to know about Islam. And the other, and I do have to say, I do not identify at all with somebody who said, all I have to know about Islam I learned on 9/11. Well, that is a preconception that, I hope nobody will return from there having that. Islam really has a rich history and heritage and a real depth of faith that is very different and yet in some ways very appealing even to Catholics. I think that we do need to continue to look for ways of enriching one another in our faith. And so that's going to be very much a part of the pilgrimage idea. What I wanted to do today was to, well, first of all, I got sidetracked. We have to introduce one another, right? Thank you for clearing your throat. Sandra. And I'm sorry you can't see me because I'm standing here talking to everybody. But Sandra, would you introduce yourself? Some of these people you met last week, and others you are brand new.
Well, I've just had one mouthful of caffeine. So don't expect too much intelligence yet. It hasn't taken up its effect. I'm obviously Sandra, and I'm a mum with two sons, 38 and almost 40. And who did I meet last week? I met lots of people last week. One person who's very much on my mind, and I'd ask you to pray for her, is a friend called Yvonne, who's battling a second dose of breast cancer, and currently she's back in hospital with pneumonia. So Yvonne is paramount on my mind at the moment. Last week I met a lot of people at the World Day of Prayer. I expect you have the World Day of Prayer over there as well. And that was very good, an ecumenical gathering at a nearby town called Diamond Creek. So the caffeine hasn't worked yet. You won't get much intelligence from me in the morning during the pilgrimage. I'll warn you now.
Okay.
I'm definitely a night person.
Actually,
yeah.
if you really like coffee in the morning, you won't get much good coffee there either. You have Turkish coffee, which is a midday thing, which is, in my opinion, sweet, undrinkable mud. But some people like it. You do have a lot of tea. At the breakfast places in the hotels, most of the hotels, even the fancy ones, will have Nescafe machines.
Ooh,
so,
sad.
yeah. So, sorry about that.
I think I should also, in a way, introduce Anna to you.
Yes, Anna Mulvena. By the way, Sandra, we have two Sandras. You know, Sandra here and Sandra there. And but that Sandra is a bishop. And you're only Columbus. and I have to say, I don't know if you're aware, Sandra, we almost had two bishops on our trip, because one of the people who inquired was named Marcy Bishop. So we would have had another Marcy also. But she didn't follow through, so Bishop of Marcy.
Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll just have to do with one bishop.
We'll do with one bishop. Two priests and one bishop. So tell us about Anna.
Now, Anna and I met last April, and we were in Israel for Easter. And we opted, both of us opted to go the cheaper version and to share. And so they paired us off together, and we instantly became friends. Now, Anna lives in Christchurch in New Zealand, where they're having all the earthquakes, and the earthquakes continue there. She's only able to email me. Her internet connection there, because of the situation in Christchurch, is very poor, and so we can't Skype, but she has limited access, and we're able to email. And so she's very envious. So I'm making little notes to be able to email her later today and tell her what the latest news is from America. And we're very much looking forward to meeting up with each other in Dubai, and then we fly on from Dubai to Istanbul together.
Okay, so she's not flying to Melbourne to meet you.
No.
You're meeting in Dubai. Okay.
Yeah.
Marvelous.
Yeah. She flies Christchurch, Sydney, and then I think Singapore, Dubai.
And we will have the comfort and luxury of a non-stop flight. Sorry, Sandra.
Dubai could be a commercial stop.
I suppose it could be. So, okay. We will definitely pray for your friend Avon. And one thing that you might think about while we're at it, and then we'll get on to the rest of the introductions. At Mary's house, they have a wall with kind of a grate over it, where people can tie pieces of paper with their intentions on. Now, a friend of mine who came on the first pilgrimage, who is a principal in South Central Los Angeles, had, you might think about this, had all of her kids write their prayers to Mary on a piece of paper. She tied them in a bundle and tied them to the wall there. And of course got a picture of her tying them to the wall, which then was taken back. She took back to her.
Father, isn't there a trough outside with holy water that you can get?
There are fountains with a spring water, which is sometimes seen to have miraculous qualities, but maybe not. But the house was built over a nice little spring.
We can have it blessed.
We can have it blessed, and it will be holy.
Yes.
I'll bless it. Yeah. Okay, how about Jan? Let's move over here to Jan. Can you see us okay, Sandra?
Yes,
Okay.
that's good.
How are you?
Jan, tell us about yourself.
I'm Jan Cahill. I live in Grayton, California in Sonoma County, about 8 miles from where The Birds was filmed in Bodega Bay. So that's where I'm, and there are a lot of birds, but they're really sweet. I grew up in Good Shepherd Parish. So far, so good. So that's my home parish. Good Shepherd's my home parish. First Communion, confirmation, my kids were baptized there. My mom's still probably one of the longest parishioners. She's probably one of the older folks who've been there the longest in that parish. And so I heard last year when Monsignor Tom Merkup start off with my brother's father Tom, so he's got to be Monsignor Tom for me. So we've got that permission right in our group, Monsignor Tom.
Sure.
Okay. So last year when Monsignor Tom came, I heard about the pilgrimage. I was like, ooh, that sounds amazing. I want to do that. But I went to Ireland this past summer, so I couldn't do both. So I'm on the pilgrimage this year, hoping to grow in my Catholic faith and to learn about the history of our Catholic faith in Turkey. And just I'm passionate about history. I love history, and so this is kind of fulfilling multiple needs and interests. So that's it. And I opted out for sharing a room with anyone to honor all of you. That you have a wonderful trip because my snoring is a legend. Now you know the reason. So there's that.
So try not to be in the room next to him.
That's what we're saying.
All right. Rita, you were here last week.
I was here last time. I'm Rita Romansky. I am from Father Tom's previous parish, Our Lady of Assumption in Claremont. And I am newly retired. I retired in July. I was an elementary school principal for many years, so I could never go on this trip because I just couldn't leave for 3 weeks, you know. So this is the first year I'm able to go, so that's why I'm here.
And Georgia?
My name is Georgia, and I'm originally from San Diego, but I've lived up here for about 7 years. And I was baptized when I was younger, but I came to this church and did the RCIA program. And the year that I actually did my confirmation was the year Father Tom was also new. I kind of liked that because I was new and he was new. So I remember that, meeting him for the first time. And I'm sorry, you had him. It's not your church, but I'm glad he's here. But I remember him talking about, I've seen the flyers for Turkey, and I honestly wasn't quite sure about it. I didn't know anything about it. And then over these last 3 years, I would say, I feel like Mary, she's also my saint. She's calling me for something. I'm not quite sure why, but I guess I'll find out on this trip.
When you visit her home.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Sandra?
So my name is Sandra Columbus. I have been with Father Tom for 16 years, and like Georgia, we both arrived new at Claremont, and so he's been my priest. And then he started his pilgrimages to Turkey, and I was not able to go while he was there, and I have now been blessed. I have one of the teacher scholarships. But I like to think that I helped him when he first started because I did the teacher curriculum, and we as a school would follow Tom on his pilgrimages to Turkey, and I've always felt the calling to go, and so I feel extremely blessed to be a part of this group and this pilgrimage, and you know, Father Tom is taking care of prayer for us. Now I ask about love and food. Eat, love, and pray, Father. That's where I'm at.
All right. Well, food, don't worry about. With a group like this, you don't have to worry about love either.
There you go.
All right. All right. One thing, when I first took the pilgrimage, Sandra had her class. Each one took a city or a place and did research on it and made, you know, one of those display panels and displayed it all over the classroom.
All over the hallway. And we would take it out every year to promote your Turkey trip because they were very well done.
Yeah, they were very well done. Yeah. And so, let me see. Let's go back here to Corita. And could you and Aurora introduce yourselves, so I don't have to move the camera.
I'm Purita Santillan from San Pedro, California, originally from Manila, Philippines. And I've heard of the Turkey trip from my sister who saw a bulletin in our church. So I decided to join.
Just to watch out for her, right?
Right.
Keep her out of trouble. Okay.
She'll keep me out of trouble.
Okay. And Aurora.
Okay. Excuse me. I'm Aurora Eleda, originally from the Philippines, and now I live in San Pedro. But before San Pedro, my family and I lived in Chicago for about 15 years, and then moved to Westlake Village area, and then finally found myself in San Pedro. I now belong to Holy Trinity Parish. As my sister mentioned, I saw a flyer about this trip to Turkey. All it said was, join Father Tom on his pilgrimage to Turkey with his name, phone number. No information about the cost or how long the pilgrimage would be. So, you know, I just picked up the phone and called him. And I said, you know, okay, Father Tom, let me think about this. And before I hang up the phone, okay, Father, count me in. Just like that. I mean, you know, sometimes I just do things spontaneously. And that's when I have the most fun and I gain the best experience of a lifetime.
Wonderful. And you just returned from Manila, yes?
So my sister and I, this is the second time we've done this. Every other year, we join a group of medical doctors and nurses from the East Coast who volunteer some of their time on a medical mission. Mind you, neither one of us are nurse or doctor. I'm a chemist. I'm a retired chemist from the city of Los Angeles, and she's a nutritionist, dietitian. But you know, they always need help. You don't have to be a doctor, a nurse, to go on these missions, because you can always, you know, guide these patients, so to speak, to where they go, because they really need all the medical help that they can get. And you know, it's a wonderful experience to go and just help out these people. Some of them are in their 80s and they haven't seen a doctor all their lives. And you know, and so this is our second time to join this group, and the next one will be in 2 years. And I think, God willing, I'll be in that one too. So.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. And Liz.
Father Tom, couldn't I get where Aurora went?
To Manila.
Manila. In December.
Manila.
Yeah, Manila for a medical mission. For how long?
The medical mission was itself like 3.5 days, because the doctors were just there during their vacation or their weekend. Because you know, doctors are there always so busy. So they go and we just go with them. Then after that we stay longer because we have families there.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
You're in New Zealand?
She's in Australia.
Australia.
I'm in Australia. I've had a few trips to the Philippines.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. So we'll be talking to you then during this pilgrimage. We'll be exchanging ideas about the Philippines.
Or about Australia.
Or about Australia. I haven't gone to Australia. I've been to New Zealand, because I have a nephew who lives there with his family.
I'm yet to make it to New Zealand.
To Australia.
Okay, and Liz.
Hi, Sandra. I'm Liz. I am currently teaching junior high at Nativity School in El Monte, but I've worked for the Archdiocese for 29 years, both as a teacher and as a principal. And I'm on a scholarship and just so excited to be able to go. Never dreamed I would go someplace so far and someplace so rich in our history and culture.
And this is my husband Jeff, and he just came along for the day, but he doesn't get to go to Turkey.
And so, aren't you glad you're not a principal anymore?
I am. Aren't you glad?
Okay. Before I move the camera, what I would like to ask is that Catherine and Ruth, would you please take these two seats here? And guess what? Joy and Dina and Gilbert, let's get in here for. No, Ruth, could you go on the side there? No, it's okay. Ruth is last year's pilgrim.
2011.
Yeah. And she is the one who is always...
Eastern Turkey, I might just be tempted to go next
She
year.
just might be tempted next year.
God willing.
But Ruth is going before us. She was hoping, she and her daughter are going... When are you leaving?
We leave on the 21st and arrive the 22nd on my birthday.
Happy birthday. And you know, they were kind of hoping to be able to meet up in Cappadocia or someplace like that, but the timing just wasn't right.
We're ahead of you 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So you know, she's going to get the place all in order for us. So, yeah, she loved our pilgrimage so much that she had to take her daughter.
That's it. My 4th trip to Turkey.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So now, Catherine.
Hello, Sandra. I was introduced to you last meeting, but just to refresh your memory and everybody else's, I'm from Los Angeles. I have been to Turkey before, and I love the country. I love the people, but yet I know that this experience is going to be totally different. This is adding the spiritual layer to what I have seen in the past, and it will be something to remember forever.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Joy?
My dad approached me. He came to Good Shepherd, and I'm a parishioner here, and he thought it was a great opportunity for us to go together. My mom is, it's been an intense trip for her, so she's going to be behind, and we're looking forward to a great trip, and he's done this Turkey before, but this will be my first time.
Wonderful.
I'm Dina Gomez.
Dina?
I met you the last time too, and we're from Hacienda Heights, and we've known Father Tom for a long time. And we tried to go on this trip a couple of years ago, but work kept interfering, even though I'm retired. And this year I just said we're doing it, so here we are.
Okay, and Gilbert?
We met last week. My name is Gilbert, well, we know Father Tom for 42 years, or 42 years to be exact. So we go a long ways.
Sorry about that.
See, he got nervous.
You must have secrets. You must have secrets.
They have some stories to tell.
Yay!
And we always kept in touch. So we're excited to go to Turkey this time. We have been in the Holy Land. To the what was it? Lyon Bible Institute. So that was a great trip too.
Now you're going to the other Holy Land.
We all go to the second Holy Land, right?
So while we are in Hacienda Heights, we have Jenny and Marcy.
My name is Jenny McGee, and I'm also from Hacienda Heights. Our church is, about a year ago, our church was burnt to the ground. So we, by an arson. And so our church community has coalesced. We've been drawn together in our unity, but we will rise again. But I've never been to Turkey, and I'm looking forward to the experience being very enriching.
Great. And Marcy?
I'm Marcy, and I've been to Melbourne, and I love it. It's a beautiful city. I'm very excited about going to Turkey. Traveling is like one of the favorite things I do, and I've been in a lot of places Australia is always one of the top ones. And I'm really looking forward to going to Turkey.
Okay, Walter, you are not coming with us, but you're here out of interest and support.
My name is Walter, and I've been to Turkey in 1994, and I'm sorry that I'm not coming on this trip because I'm highly interested.
Okay.
Next year.
Next year. And Jean-Henri, since you're also not coming, but you are a supporter.
Supporting his wife. So she's going to give me a report when she comes.
Happy to be back.
I thought she was giving you a month off by her going.
That's it. He's going to have so much fun he won't even miss me.
Okay.
I'm Stella Aubrey. I've been a parishioner at the Good Shepherd for about 12 years. I'm originally from the state of Colorado, and I've taken other pilgrimages with other groups, but I've never been to Turkey. And just listening to Father Tom talk about it, my friend Luca and I are going to be together, and we're just looking forward to a new experience. And just happy to visit all of the places where our St. Paul and other saintly people have traveled.
Amen. And last but not least, Lupe.
I'm Lupe Dreisch, and I've been parishioner here for 38 years until last year I moved away. I have 4 children, 6 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. Wow. And last year I was going to make this trip, and I couldn't for medical reasons, so I'm happy to be going this year.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay.
Tom, Edith has just popped up.